All right, let's do this. Today we are diving into the world of Roman gladiators.
Sounds exciting.
It is. Now, I think we've all seen at least one gladiator movie in our time.
Definitely.
But our deep dive today is going to go way beyond, just the Hollywood version. You guys sent in some really great notes on, famous gladiators and events. So, let's jump into all that and see what these stories tell us about history.
I think what's so interesting about gladiators is that they represent so much more than just strength and fighting.
Oh.
Their lives and their stories are really intertwined with Roman politics and culture, and really this incredible
A spectacle.
yeah.
Yeah.
This need for entertainment on a scale that we just don't really see today.
Yeah, it's hard to wrap your head around.
Yeah.
All right, so to kick things off, let's talk about the most famous gladiator of all, Spartacus. And we know he wasn't just like a really good fighter.
Right.
This guy led a rebellion against Roman slavery. So what made him such a powerful figure?
Well, in 73 BCE, Spartacus leads this revolt.
Okay.
And it ends up drawing in thousands of slaves.
Wow.
So think about that for a second. Thousands of people
Wow.
who are from all these different places, all walks of life, all backgrounds, all risking their lives for a chance at freedom. And Spartacus's leadership was absolutely central to that.
Okay.
He didn't just unite these people, he actually broke down these barriers between different cultures and backgrounds within the slave population.
Yeah.
He inspired them to take on the most powerful empire in the world.
Exactly.
And that's, I think, why his story still resonates with people today.
I mean, yeah, it's incredible, right? It's like even just reading about it, you can feel the impact. And it's interesting because it wasn't just about, Spartacus as like this one, powerful dude.
Right.
It was a collective desire for freedom. They were facing these impossible odds. And I wonder, do we know if he had like specific strategies or was it just like his charisma,
That's a great question, and it's something historians still debate.
Oh, wow.
Some people think that he might have used his knowledge of Roman military tactics.
Oh.
Maybe he learned that, before he was enslaved.
Okay.
Kind of outmaneuver the Roman forces.
That's a good point.
Others focus more on his ability to build this sense of unity and shared purpose among his followers.
Yeah.
That was essential to the revolt being able to last as long as it did.
Right, makes sense.
Yeah.
Okay, so we've talked about Spartacus, the rebel gladiator. Now, I want to jump to a very different kind of gladiator.
Okay.
An emperor who wanted to be a gladiator.
Yeah.
Commodus.
Right.
We got a lot of notes about him.
Yeah.
And honestly, his story is just wild.
Totally.
Like, he actually stepped into the arena himself.
Yeah, this was actually a huge scandal at the time.
Oh, wow, really?
You see, Roman emperors, they were supposed to maintain this image of authority and dignity, right?
Of course.
And Commodus just blew that all up.
Yeah.
Stepping into the arena, I mean, even though it was probably mostly for show, it was like he was putting himself on the same level as the people he was ruling.
Yeah.
But I think it's a really fascinating insight into his personality.
Oh, for sure. It's super interesting. And it also, says a lot about how much the Romans loved, gladiatorial combat.
Exactly.
Even an emperor couldn't resist it. But wait, you said mostly for show. So were his fights, actually rigged?
Well, the historical sources suggest that Commodus probably fought opponents who were armed with wooden weapons.
Okay.
And it's very likely that the outcomes were, predetermined.
Yeah.
But his desire to participate, even in this, kind of fake setting, it shows us how important gladiatorial combat was in Roman society.
Right.
It wasn't just entertainment, it was a symbol of strength and courage.
Yeah.
And it was even a way for the emperor to connect with the people, even if that connection was maybe a little bit manufactured.
Right, I get it. Okay, well, speaking of over-the-top spectacles, you guys mentioned Naumachia in your notes?
Yes.
Mock naval battles? Wait, hold on. They flooded entire arenas for these. That's insane.
Yeah, it's pretty amazing. The Romans were incredible engineers.
It must be.
For Naumachia, they either flooded existing arenas, or they would construct these massive artificial lakes.
Seriously?
And then they'd have ships, gladiators fighting. Sometimes they would even have wild animals in there.
Wow.
And these weren't just small fights or anything.
Right.
We're talking full-scale naval battles.
That's crazy.
Just for public entertainment.
Yeah, I can't even imagine the logistics of something like that.
It's pretty wild.
It's so hard to even plan, a small pool party without things going wrong. But I guess it really shows just how much the Romans, wanted to keep pushing the boundaries of spectacle and entertainment.
Absolutely. I mean, the scale of the Naumachia, it really shows how far the Romans were willing to go to provide these grand spectacles.
Yeah.
It was a way for the emperors to show off their wealth and power, obviously.
Right.
But it was also to distract the public from, maybe political tensions or economic problems.
That's a good point, yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, well, you can't talk about gladiators without talking about the most famous arena of all time, the Colosseum.
The Colosseum, yeah.
You guys also pointed out it's sometimes called the Flavian Amphitheater.
Right.
This place is, iconic. It's incredible.
Oh, yeah. It's truly a remarkable example of Roman architecture and engineering. Its inauguration by Emperor Titus in 80 CE.
Okay.
That was a massive celebration. They had thousands of gladiators fighting over days of games.
Wow.
And it's just amazing to think that it's still standing today.
It is.
This massive structure that symbolizes so much about Roman society.
Yeah, it really makes you wonder what it would have been like to be there.
Oh, yeah.
Like to be in that crowd.
Right.
And feel the energy of the arena, the tension of the battles.
Yeah.
It wasn't even just about, the violence of it all. It was like this massive spectacle, this drama, this shared experience. Like they were witnessing something so...
Yeah, it's true. And we have to remember that. The Colosseum wasn't just about entertainment.
Okay.
It was actually a really powerful tool for social control.
Really?
The emperor could use the games to strengthen his authority, to connect with people, and even to distract them from political unrest that might be bubbling under the surface.
Yeah.
So it was a way to keep the people entertained and, in a sense, pacified.
Wow, so we've covered so much. From rebel gladiators to emperors who wanted to fight, to flooded arenas, to the Colosseum. It's been quite a journey. But before we wrap up, I have a question for you all listening. Given how brutal gladiatorial combat was, why do you think these stories, these figures and events, still fascinate us today?
Yeah.
What is it about these spectacles of strength and struggle that continue to capture our imaginations centuries later? It's a question worth thinking about, don't you think? Thanks for joining us for this deep dive into the world of Roman gladiators.
Thanks for having me.
See you next time.